Michigan licensee-owned property disclosure. Question 1. During a compliance interview in Ann Arbor, a new applicant encounters a rule involving practicing while a license is suspended, revoked, or lapsed. Which response follows Michigan law, while the file concerns a student rental, a license transfer request, and an owner-licensee conflict? Option A. Only advertising is prohibited. Option B. The employer may privately reactivate it. Option C. The license remains active for pending deals. Option D. The person is treated as unlicensed. The correct answer is option D. The person is treated as unlicensed. Authority to practice depends on a current license in good standing. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Only the department can restore lawful status through the applicable process. Question 2. A team member is preparing for a lease negotiation in Kalamazoo. Which statement correctly addresses failure to comply with a final board or department order, while the file concerns a vacant commercial parcel, an inspection addendum, and an expired license issue? Option A. A separate basis for discipline. Option B. An automatic license renewal. Option C. A fair minus housing exemption. Option D. A private contract defense. The correct answer is option A. A separate basis for discipline. Final regulatory orders are enforceable obligations of the licensee. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. Private transaction terms cannot override the order. Question 3. Which Michigan requirement should control when a branch manager deals with an owner selling the owner's property in an occasional transaction during a seller consultation, while the file concerns an industrial site, a broker's supervision log, and a property minus management payment? Option A. Only a lender may sell the property. Option B. The owner becomes a broker automatically. Option C. Every owner must obtain a salesperson license. Option D. An owner exemption may apply if the activity is not a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. The correct answer is option D. An owner exemption may apply if the activity is not a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. Owners may generally handle their own property, but Michigan limits commercialized patterns of owner sales. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Ownership alone is not an unlimited exemption from broker licensing. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. At a listing presentation, the brokerage discusses an owner completing more than 5 property sales in 12 months without using a broker. Which conclusion is most accurate, while the file concerns a new construction home, a earnest minus money receipt, and a delayed possession term? Option A. Only a building permit is required. Option B. The transactions become tax minus free. Option C. The owner remains exempt without limit. Option D. The activity is treated as a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. The correct answer is option D. The activity is treated as a principal vocation requiring broker licensure. Michigan uses transaction frequency as one indicator of professional real estate sales activity. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. Tax and construction approvals do not replace occupational licensing. Question 5. A compliance question in Pontiac concerns an owner spending more than 15 hours per week over a 6-month period selling owned real estate. Which action or statement is appropriate, while the file concerns a mixed-use building, a license transfer request, and a cooperating brokerage? Option A. The owner is always exempt. Option B. The time is counted only after closing. Option C. The activity can be treated as a principal vocation. Option D. The rule applies only to renters. The correct answer is option C. The activity can be treated as a principal vocation. Substantial weekly work devoted to owner sales can move the activity beyond casual disposition. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Closing dates and tenant status do not control this test. Question 6. How should a Michigan associate broker handle a situation involving the additional pre-licensure education associated with an individual broker applicant, while the file concerns a cooperative unit, an inspection addendum, and a rejected counteroffer? Option A. 40 hours total including salesperson education. Option B. 90 hours beyond salesperson education. Option C. No additional education. Option D. 10 hours of advertising only. The correct answer is option B. 90 hours beyond salesperson education. Broker minus level preparation requires substantial coursework beyond the salesperson foundation. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. The additional requirement is not satisfied by repeating only the initial salesperson total. Question 7. Which choice best applies the state rule concerning a salesperson license application under the statutory employer structure to an open house, while the file concerns a farm parcel, a broker supervision log, and an assumed business name? Option A. The applicant self-employs immediately. Option B. A home inspector signs as sponsor. Option C. The employing broker signs or approves the affiliation required for issuance. Option D. The county clerk becomes the employer. The correct answer is option C. The employing broker signs or approves the affiliation required for issuance. The salesperson credential is issued within an employing-broker relationship. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. Independent practice is not created merely by passing the examination. Question 8. A file from Grand Rapids raises an issue about a salesperson license as to legal form. Which answer identifies the governing requirement, while the file concerns a lakefront cottage, a earnest minus money receipt, and a security minus deposit question? Option A. It is issued only to an individual. Option B. It belongs to the property being sold. Option C. It is issued to a branch office. Option D. It may be issued to any corporation. The correct answer is option A. It is issued only to an individual. Michigan treats the salesperson credential as an individual occupational license. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. A location or parcel cannot hold a salesperson credential. Are you looking for real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access real estate study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get real estate answer key today. Question 9. Before completing a license application, which rule should the listing licensee apply to an associate broker's status, while the file concerns a townhouse, a license transfer request, and a dual minus representation concern? Option A. A broker minus qualified individual working for another real estate broker. Option B. A salesperson with no broker qualifications. Option C. An unlicensed assistant. Option D. A county recording officer. The correct answer is option A. A broker minus qualified individual working for another real estate broker. An associate broker has met broker licensing standards but practices through an employing broker. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. It is distinct from clerical assistance and ordinary salesperson status. Question 10. A Michigan exam candidate reviews a scenario involving leasing or renting real property of others for compensation under a management contract. Which option reflects the current licensing framework, while the file concerns a urban infill property, an inspection addendum, and a protected minus class inquiry? Option A. A title insurance service. Option B. A building minus code inspection. Option C. An owner's casual self minus management. Option D. Property management regulated as brokerage activity. The correct answer is option D. Property management regulated as brokerage activity. Managing rentals for another for compensation falls within Michigan real estate regulation. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Self-management and unrelated professional services are classified differently. Question 11. The broker's policy manual addresses the account used in operating managed property. Which provision should it contain, while the file concerns a subdivision lot, a broker supervision log, and a disputed repair credit? Option A. A zoning appeal file. Option B. A personal vacation fund. Option C. A property management account. Option D. A deed registry. The correct answer is option C. A property management account. Managed minus property money is handled through accounts dedicated to the property minus management operation. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Personal funds and land records do not serve that accounting function. Question 12. A regulator asks about a right minus to minus list agreement that binds future owners for an excessive period during a brokerage review. Which response demonstrates compliance, while the file concerns a rural acreage, a earnest minus money receipt, and an electronic signature? Option A, potentially unenforceable under Michigan restrictions. Option B, required in all residential sales. Option C, a substitute for a deed. Option D, automatically superior to every mortgage. The correct answer is option A, potentially unenforceable under Michigan restrictions. Michigan limits certain long-term agreements that encumber future home-sale listing rights. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. The arrangement is not a deed or a universal listing requirement. Question 13. Which statement would be safest for a branch manager to follow when the body created to regulate Michigan real estate brokers and salespersons becomes relevant, while the file concerns a single-family residence, a license transfer request, and a referral arrangement? Option A, the Federal Reserve Board. Option B, the local register of deeds. Option C, the County Planning Commission. Option D, the Michigan Board of Real Estate Brokers and Salespersons. The correct answer is option D, the Michigan Board of Real Estate Brokers and Salespersons. Article 25 establishes a state board for the licensed brokerage professions. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Local land offices and federal banking regulators perform different functions. Question 14. A dispute arises during a closing preparation over the department's role in professional licensing. Which principal resolves the issue, while the file concerns a small apartment building, an inspection addendum, and a team social media post? Option A, determine eligibility, issue credentials, and enforce the occupational code. Option B, record deeds for each county. Option C, approve all private purchase offers. Option D, set every property's market price. The correct answer is option A, determine eligibility, issue credentials, and enforce the occupational code. The licensing department administers applications, examinations, renewals, and compliance. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. County recording and market valuation are handled through other processes. Question 15. In Lansing, a salesperson must decide how to proceed with a listing agreement that discriminates on a prohibited basis. Which decision is consistent with Michigan requirements, while the file concerns an office condominium, a broker supervision log, and a record inspection request? Option A, the clause becomes valid after advertising. Option B, the clause controls if the seller requests it. Option C, the discriminatory provision or conduct is unlawful. Option D, the broker must follow it without question. The correct answer is option C, the discriminatory provision or conduct is unlawful. A client instruction cannot require a licensee to violate housing civil rights law. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. Private preference does not override public legal protections. Question 16. Which exam answer accurately classifies the rule involving the timing of the Michigan agency disclosure, while the file concerns a condominium unit, a earnest money receipt, and a branch office distance issue? Option A, whenever the licensee chooses. Option B, before the prospect reveals transaction specific confidential information. Option C, after the first offer is rejected. Option D, only after closing. The correct answer is option B, before the prospect reveals transaction specific confidential information. Available agency relationships and their duties must be explained early in the interaction. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. A closing stage disclosure would come too late to protect informed choice. Question 17. A new policy is being drafted for the form of the required agency relationship disclosure. Which language belongs in the policy, while the file concerns a retail suite, a license transfer request, and a financing contingency? Option A, a written disclosure. Option B, a social media post. Option C, an oral statement only. Option D, a note prepared after settlement. The correct answer is option A, a written disclosure. Michigan requires documentation of the agency information given to a prospective buyer or seller. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. Informal conversation alone does not satisfy the statutory format. Question 18. During team training, the supervising broker tests knowledge of acting for more than one party in a transaction without their knowledge. Which answer should the team select? While the file concerns a manufactured home site, an inspection addendum, and an unrepresented consumer. Option A, allowed if the property is residential. Option B, required in every transaction. Option C, prohibited conduct subject to discipline. Option D, permitted whenever commission is shared. The correct answer is option C, prohibited conduct subject to discipline. A licensee cannot secretly undertake conflicting representation. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. Compensation structure or property type does not eliminate the conflict. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass in payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A consumer asks the brokerage to explain a salesperson attempting to represent a broker other than the employing broker. Which explanation reflects Michigan law? While the file concerns a 2-unit rental, a broker supervision log, and a confidential price limit? Option A. Only the buyer must approve. Option B. The employer's express knowledge and consent are required. Option C. A title company may authorize it. Option D. The salesperson may do so without notice. The correct answer is option B. The employer's express knowledge and consent are required. A salesperson's regulated activity is controlled through the employing brokerage. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. A transaction participant cannot substitute for the broker's supervisory authority. Question 20. Which compliance step is required when the transaction facts involve the meaning of a seller's agent, while the file concerns a historic residence, a earnest minus money receipt, and a change of employing broker? Option A. A person representing only the buyer. Option B. A lender's underwriting employee. Option C. A licensee representing the seller with fiduciary responsibilities. Option D. A neutral county official. The correct answer is option C. A licensee representing the seller with fiduciary responsibilities. Seller representation places the licensee on the owner's side of the agency relationship. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. The role is different from neutral coordination or buyer advocacy. Question 21. A new applicant notices a potential problem involving the meaning of a buyer's agent. Which response should occur first? While the file concerns a student rental, a license transfer request, and an owner-licensee conflict? Option A. The seller's property inspector. Option B. A licensee representing the purchaser's interests. Option C. The closing notary. Option D. The listing broker in every case. The correct answer is option B. A licensee representing the purchaser's interests. Buyer representation is established to advocate for the purchaser in the transaction. Applied to this scenario, the licensee should follow the rule before creating further obligations for a party. Performing a ministerial closing task does not create this relationship. Question 22. The state portion of the exam presents facts about the purpose of informed consent in dual representation. Which result is supported? While the file concerns a vacant commercial parcel, an inspection addendum, and an expired license issue. Option A will allow the parties to knowingly approve the conflict-managed relationship. Option B, guarantee a specific sale price. Option C, eliminate every disclosure duty. Option D, let the salesperson work for two brokers. The correct answer is option A, allow the parties to knowingly approve the conflict-managed relationship. Dual representation involves duties that may compete between opposing clients. For exam purposes, focus on the regulated relationship rather than an informal business custom. Consent does not promise an outcome or erase mandatory honesty. Question 23. Which brokerage practice properly addresses the role of designated agency within a brokerage in the Grand Rapids transaction, while the file concerns an industrial site, a broker supervision log, and a property-management payment? Option A. The broker stops supervising the transaction. Option B. Different affiliated licensees represent opposing clients under brokerage safeguards. Option C. The parties become unrepresented automatically. Option D. One licensee secretly represents both sides. The correct answer is option B. Different affiliated licensees represent opposing clients under brokerage safeguards. Designation can separate client representation among affiliated licensees. The transaction context changes the facts, but it does not change the underlying licensing duty. The structure is not a license for undisclosed dual loyalty. Question 24. A licensee is comparing 4 procedures related to the role of a transaction coordinator. Which procedure is lawful, while the file concerns a new construction home, a earnest minus money receipt, and a delayed possession term? Option A. The county equalization officer. Option B. A licensee who is not acting as agent for either buyer or seller. Option C. The owner of the listing. Option D. A universal agent for both parties. The correct answer is option B. A licensee who is not acting as agent for either buyer or seller. A coordination role may facilitate documents and communications without client advocacy. A written office procedure should produce the same result in comparable transactions. Administrative support does not create unlimited authority over either party. Question 25. At the end of a renewal review, the parties question the effect of compensation on determining agency. Which statement provides the best guidance, while the file concerns a mixed minus use building, a license transfer request, and a cooperating brokerage? Option A. Only cash compensation creates agency. Option B. The payer is always the client. Option C. Commission creates dual agency automatically. Option D. Payment alone does not decide whom the licensee represents. The correct answer is option D. Payment alone does not decide whom the licensee represents. Agency depends on the relationship and disclosures rather than the source of money alone. In the described setting, the brokerage should document the step and apply it before moving forward. The form of compensation does not replace the need to identify the actual principal.